if you're like me and you're pretty active on like social media and you follow up with all of the most recent sports news, you know, the most polarizing, controversial topic that everybody's talking about is Caitlin Clark and how her first 12, 11 games in the league has gone. And it has nothing to do with her play. It really does. It has everything to do with how she's quote unquote being treated. And I've seen a lot of brand dead takes about this. And before I even get into, you know, the whole Caitlin Clark thing and the takes and my personal opinion on it, I want to say I don't understand people. When it comes to the WNBA game right now, it comes to their product, I feel like their game has everything that people complain that the NBA doesn't have right now. A lot of people say the NBA lacks physicality. Watch these WNBA games. They're very physical. And another complaint I always see is they really don't be fighting. They don't be meaning that. These girls in the WNBA, they be getting into it. And it be for real. And it's just not just this season. It's not just these past few seasons. There's a history of this. Like, I went back and I seen a lot of fights, brawls. If I think that's will be the proper word for 10 plus people engaging in some physical altercation, which would be a brawl. But they do this, like, and then also like the beef, the storylines. We love storylines when it comes to sports. The storylines inside the WNBA are so crazy. You could be playing on the same team as your ex. You could be playing against your fiance and your ex be on your team. You could be playing with your fiance against your ex. You could be playing with your former lover. I think I already said that. But it's crazy storylines. I feel like all that is happening and people just brushing that to the side just to talk about this Caitlin Clark. That really is nothing. Like, what is currently happening to Caitlin Clark is normal. I think so many people are coming up with these takes like her fellow WNBA players, you know, should be thanking her, should, you know, almost in a way coddle her, should be thanking her for the amount of praise and all the things that they're getting because of her. And while yes, that could be true, that a lot of the good thing that's happening to the WNBA could be because of her and because of her star power and what she did in college and how much of an impactful player that a lot of people project her to be. Yes, that could be true, but that's no reason to coddle her. What's happening to Caitlin Clark happens to every generational prospect once they make that jump into the big leagues. I mean, shoot, did anybody baby LeBron when he came in? Did too many people like LeBron when he came in? People still don't. I mean, shoot, MJ got iced out of a whole All-Star game back in I forget the year, but he got iced out of a whole All-Star game. I mean, I know he's not a generational prospect or talent, but do we not remember Lonzo Ball's first game in the league and what Patrick Beverley was doing to him? What's happening to Caitlin Clark right now is normal. Everybody wants to show her up because she is seen as the next one. A lot of people want to prove her wrong. And it's crazy because what's happening to Caitlin Clark now has happened to WNBA stars of the past. Do we not remember what it was like when Candace Parker first entered the league? I know I'm saying, like, do we remember? Like, I personally remember because I don't. But I did some research on the topic and seen they was treating her the same way. I mean, shoot, we all saw Angel Reese the other day when she got pulled down by her neck and got clotheslined. Like, it's hard for a rookie. And it's like that in any sport, at any level. If you're supposed to be the top dog, people are going to pick and poke at you and see how much you can really take. People are going to come at your necks just to prove a point. And the one thing about all this is we cannot act like Caitlin Clark's a victim in any of this. Caitlin Clark be talking to. If you don't remember what happened the other day, the main reason we're having this conversation is when the Indiana Fever played the Chicago Sky and that one girl, I completely forget her name, when she literally hip checked Caitlin Clark before she could get the ball on an inbound. Caitlin Clark was talking to her before that. It's on video. Like, we're not going to act like Caitlin Clark just be sitting there as like a victim and a bystander and all this. She got that dog in her too. She be talking shit too. We saw what happened the other day when she got in that one girl's face. I don't know what girl it was, but it was some girl, and I don't know which team because they got the Indiana Fever running the gauntlet right now. They got these girls playing like 11 games in like 19 days, which is crazy, but smart. The WNBA sitting there like, listen, we gonna get our money. Y'all gonna see Caitlin Clark play some basketball, you know. We gonna get our star out there. And that's just how it is. I know a lot of people are also mad because it's like we're only talking about Caitlin Clark. She's the main thing we're talking about. She's the headline on every show when they talking about the WNBA, not even the real contending teams, because the Indiana Fever is not a good basketball team. I've watched, now I don't want to say a good amount, but I've watched some of them play. There's only two good players on that team, and that's the two former #1 overall picks. everybody else is like, that was crazy. But it's like, yeah, they're gonna market their stars the same way we always talk about the Cowboys. The same way, no matter what LeBron does, he's going to be the headline of every single show. The same thing is going to happen with Wemby. The same thing is happening in the NFL with Patrick Mahomes. They're going to talk about the stars. They're going to catapult the people they want to catapult and talk about. And Caitlin Clark is like that. And I don't understand why people want to see her baby, because I feel like if this happened in any other league, people would throw fits about it. People would throw fits if they found out that the NBA was making it easy for Victor Wembanyama when he first came in the league, and players are like, all right, man, let's get this rookie, a nice welcome to the league. Nah, getting it harsh, but you gotta learn. And also, this is what makes superstars. Things like this, going through the fire like this, is gonna make her great. It's gonna hopefully make her turn out to the player that I think she's gonna be. And also, I genuinely do think that she's going to be a really good player. All the things I see of her playing is just a really, really good rookie on a very bad team. Like, I feel like one of her main skills is not being able to be shown because this team is so bad with her playmaking. I mean, like, if you just watch, you're going to see like 5 assists that the Fever just can't capitalize on it. It's kind of crazy. I think my biggest problem with this whole thing is like when you see Caitlin Clark get literally, I don't want to overreact and say beat, but when she gets put through the ringer night in and night out and you see nobody jump to her defense, like the best take I seen was Matt Barnes saying that they needed an enforcer, because they do. They need somebody to protect her. And the one reason why I think it's not happening is because there's probably a lot of resentment, jealousy, and ill will towards Caitlin Clark on that team. And maybe not through anything that she's done, because again, we don't know. Maybe behind the scenes she's a terrible person and is racist like everybody accuses her of being. But I feel like it's simply just natural human emotion. When they first found out they were going to have the chance to get Caitlin Clark, I remember seeing that video of everybody in the Indiana Fever Stadium happy, and even some of the players at the time excited, because how they saw that, hey, she's going to come help us. She's going to be one of us. And I think once she's gotten there, it's probably, a lot of players have probably around her come to the realization that they're not going to be around here longer. If your name's not Aaliyah Boston, if your name's not Caitlin Clark, you simply don't matter. So they probably feel some type of way about that. I could definitely see that as a reason why they're not protecting her like they should. They're not stepping up for like a real team should. Yeah, it's just, I don't understand why people want them to treat Caitlin Clark like she's the savior. Like we can't attack her. We can't say nothing about her. We can't, like the one girl in Chicago Sky said, if she's not shooting threes, what else is she about? And a lot of people came at her for hating this, and that. That's natural competitive nature. You don't want to you want to talk kindly about your competitor, especially if you're really competing against them, especially if there's some type of animosity. And like, we all know that's not true. We all know Caitlin Clark is more than just a 3-point shooter. That's why she was a #1 overall pick unanimously. That's why people were talking about her potentially coming in the league and doing what only Candace Parker did, which was literally, I think, become the MVP in her rookie year. Now, that's probably not going to happen. Like, that's really not. And I think we should also take a moment to realize how crazy Candace Parker was by the fact that she did that, and that like rarely happens in professional sports, because what the fuck? MVP in your first year in the league? Like, talking about this stuff is very murky water, because like, for instance, today, you probably seen it by now, Stephen A. Smith and Monica McNutt go at it, and Monica McNutt was completely right, and Stephen A. did the thing that I hate when black men do, is basically say, when a black woman's talking about, oh, this was like to be a black woman in this country, they're like, but yeah, I'm a black man. It's not the same thing. It's really not. And I think this stuff, talking about the WNBA as a whole, is a very layered discussion. I didn't go too deep in it. I just really focused on the Caitlin Clark bit, but it's very layered, it's very deep, and it has a lot of, it's a nuanced discussion that I feel like a lot of people aren't at the capacity to have or having it. Like, I feel like you have to be a certain level of intelligence and nuance to really talk about this in a way that's appropriate and true. And I feel like there's a lot of people attacking the subject that are not that. Pat McAfee, Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp, basically a lot of people, RG3, like not understanding the nuances and talking about something that they don't know anything about. They don't know anything about the WNBA. They don't know anything about the culture of the WNBA or the history behind it and how stuff like this is normal. And that goes back to a bigger discussion of people wanting to talk about things that they have no intelligence of, being willfully ignorant, but talking like they're the smartest person in the room. Maybe that's part of my problem with guys like a Stephen A. Smith. I just think what's happening with Caitlin Clark is normal, and it's okay. Stuff like this needs to happen. This will make her the superstar that we all expect her to be. This will make it so when Caitlin Clark turns into the Caitlin Clark, prime Caitlin Clark, it's going to be scary. She's going to be a dog. Sometimes you got to learn lessons the hard way, and that's what's happening with Caitlin Clark right now, you know, and it just is what it is. But I'm excited about the WNBA season. I feel like there's also a lot of interesting storylines, like who's going to win it all. You know, can the Aces three-peat? Me personally, well, I think a lot of people are just jumping on that. I don't know. You know, Connecticut Sun, they look nice. They look nice. They got my girl on there, DeJounte Carrington. But then you got them. You got the Liberty. You know, there's a lot of quality teams and a lot of really, really good players. The Dallas Wings got my favorite player in the entire league because she is like a hooper's hooper. She's so fun to watch. Arike, I'm gonna just say Arike. She hit that shot for Notre Dame to win the national championship. You should know her by that if you really with sports. But anyway, you know, thank y'all for listening. Hopefully y'all don't make this deeper than it needs to be.